Well, hello, paradigm shifters. Welcome. We're so grateful that you made it and you're here into this moment right here, right now. It's February 8th, 2022, of the very best year of our lives, best day of our lives. You know how we know that? Because we're breathing. Yeah. So, Paradigm Shifters is a growing global community dedicated to shift and uplift the planet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. And as of this morning, we have 1,357 members, and from all over the globe. And I'm so grateful to have as our guest speaker my friend, Tomomi Ito from Japan. And before I introduce Tomomi, I have to tell you just this little bit of story uh, about my life with in 1988 we had a foreign exchange student from Japan live with us for a year. Can you imagine coming and living in Texas for a year from Japan? Just imagine that. And it was the most opening experience for myself and my kids. And I thought I was so nervous that I wanted to have everything perfect. And her name was Mitsuko Nakamura. And I spent weeks trying to get the perfect, be the, before she came, trying to study how to be the perfect Japanese mother. you know, I really got the food, everything. And needless to say, it crashed and burned on me. Like, my kids did not like that. They wanted their hamburgers and pizza. And it was just one of these cultural exchanges where I got to experience a whole different worldview, but not really. And it was a year of growth for me. One of the most memorable moments was when she came downstairs and asked very humbly of me as mom if it was okay if she dyed her hair blue. I'm like, you bet. And I remember I taught her how to drive. She got her driver's license here. And then, but I digress. So it is my super pleasure to introduce you to Momi Ito. And we're talking this month about overcomers, overcoming and overcomers. And she's got quite a story. So here we go. As a next generation life transformation leader, Tomomi helps people achieve heights of success, meaning, and spiritual aliveness. Now, for over 14 years, Tomomi has been studying and implementing transformational success principles. So I love this that while she was engaged as a cruise director for one of the world's largest cruise lines, Tomomi captured the hearts of hundreds of thousands of passengers around the globe, around the world. And her charismatic onboard seminars filled up quickly, and she was even asked to hold a seminar at a five-star hotel in Dubai. So listen to this. Tomomi's been featured in various print and television media, highlighting her time on the ship, such as the Discovery Channel. So, with with that, I would love to introduce Tomomi. Come on in, Tomomi.
Hi, paradigm shifters and Judy. Thank you so much for having me.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your story about overcoming and where that took you, and maybe some of the paradigms you faced, and
Mm,
what some tools that you used?
mm. Thank you so much. Well, I think there are many obstacles, and I made many impossible possible. Yes, but one of the biggest one was a financial situation. And after graduating from Hawaii, after graduating from high school, I moved to Hawaii, and I was there as a student. And but as a student, is study abroad student, we are not supposed to work. And one day I found myself that there's only $40 in my pocket. And but I wanted to stay in Hawaii for the rest of the year. And then I was also told that my father's company was going to bankruptcy, and I'm an only child, and I didn't know what how much my father makes, or anything like that. But when I think of that, you know what? Yeah, like actually, like when I was in college, they taught me to graduate as soon as possible, and start working. There's 1 year working period right after graduating from college in Hawaii. But yeah, and I'm like, yeah, it was kind of strange of them to like say that, and then they stopped sending me money, and and I'm like, wow, like now when I think about that, like no wonder that they were telling me this, and they stopped sending me money. And but I didn't know that my father's company was about to be go to bankruptcy. So I made a determination that up until then I have been studying these life transformational principles with my Buddhist organizations. And yeah, and then I know that, I can make anything possible. And this is that time for me to do it. And so I made a determination to be able to live in Hawaii for the rest of the year. And also somehow I have no idea, but help my father's company from bankruptcy. So what I did is that I chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and then I chant, and then also I put myself that I am so happy and grateful that I was able to do this, that I was able to help my father, I was able to manifest the money that I need somehow. And I create a wonderful memory with my Hawaiian friends for the rest of the year. And I did everything I wanted in Hawaii, and then I go home, So that was my vision. And I had no idea, but I kept chanting, and I had this vision that somehow these things worked out. And I also made a determination that I don't want to be in this situation for a long time. So I decided, it was around Valentine time. So I decided, this is perfect time. It's February today. Yeah, so I would love to solve this situation by February 28th. So about 2 weeks. So somehow I decided to do it. And then, we started talking, and people brought me food so that I can survive. And I'm so grateful to have wonderful people take care of me. And then one day we found out that my relative who passed away a couple of years ago, then she left me some inheritance. And I had no idea. I didn't know about that. And I was supposed to receive that money when I turned 60 years old. But at the time I was like 20 years old. So like it's like 40 years from now. And then somehow, we talked, and we were able to receive the money. Instead of 60 years old, I was able to receive some money then. And the money was about $100,000. And I gave $80,000 to my father's company. I saved the father's company from bankruptcy. I received 20,000 for myself, and I was able to live the rest of the year exactly how I envisioned. So yeah, that's one of the overcomers too. But I think the paradigm is that, like obviously I couldn't work for that year. And I didn't want to work under table either. But when you have no idea and there's no way, then you really gotta have faith. And I think the most important thing that I did back then is that instead of going for like strategy, how I can make money and all of that, instead of going for strategy, I really believe in myself, the possibility that somehow this gonna work out. And I am so happy and grateful that everything worked out. And then I had an expectancy, that this is going to work out, because otherwise I had no idea. And I don't want to be a homeless either. So don't focus on that, but focus on the result that I would like to create. So that was one of the very first paradigm shifting moments in my life.
Oh, wow. That is great. Tell us, I am so fascinated by your cruise ship.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, tell me more. Tell us more.
Yes. So since I was little, I always wanted to work on a cruise ship like Titanic, but that doesn't sink. And that was my dream. And when I was in Hawaii, I applied for a Norwegian cruise line, but they didn't hire me because I didn't have any cruising industry experience. But I was able to hire by a Sunset Dinner Cruise Company in Hawaii, and I became cruise director there, and I received a best cruise director award there. And then so I worked there for a year, so that's like 1 year before I became $40 to my name, Tomomi. But yeah, I had a great time there, and and then after that I kept applying for the Japanese cruise lines, and they didn't hire me, but but I had the dream, keep going. And and I became an English teacher back home, and I also became the uh, #1 English teacher in West Japan. And I thought, wow, teaching is like my vocation. This is fun. But still, I wanted to work on a big cruise ship, especially international cruise lines. And then I moved to Tokyo to work for a little Tokyo cruising company to pursue my dream. But I had a really bad time there. I broke my back and I couldn't stand up for more than 30 minutes, and I needed to wear a corset every single day. I made so many mistakes, and my boss are so hard on me, and I quit the cruise ship, and I became depressed and didn't go outside for 6 months.
Whoa.
But in my life, this is my life philosophy. When something bad happens, something great will follow. So this morning, in order to log in this Facebook, my internet was not working, stopped working. So I'm like, instead of oh my god, I'm like, wow, today paradigm shifter conversation is going to be amazing, right? So even though I was depressed at that time for 6 months, and once again my bank balance went low and I didn't have much money then, but I kept this dream of working on a larger cruise ship. And one day I applied for a cruise line, and then one of the largest cruise lines in the world called Princess Cruises interviewed me, and I was able to get hired as a junior assistant cruise director. And I had an amazing time there. I get paid to travel. I've been to 38 countries and 70 cities around the world. And I was also promoted as assistant cruise director. But because of my back problem got worse and I couldn't dance there. And so I quit. But my dream was to be a cruise director on the big cruise ship. And I had no idea how to do it. But this time I was learning something else, that I put images together. It's kind of like a vision board, but movie version of vision board. And I put like, what kind of clothes am I wearing if I were a cruise director? Like if I were a cruise director, I'm gonna have my own channel on cruise ship. What kind of TV program I am producing with my filming crew, and all of that. And I put it all together. And then I was away from the company for 2 years. But one day I flew to Los Angeles because I always wanted to go to Los Angeles. But at the time, I still had no money again. So I only had a money to fly. I didn't have any money to stay at a hotel or anything like that. But I took my courage and go there. And then my friend, who I'm staying here today in Hawaii, told me like, "Hi, I'm going to Los Angeles with my sister, and she works for a hotel, and this is free for us, so you can stay with us." And I'm like, "Yay!" And then in that Los Angeles trip, I was able to meet my previous boss from the Princess Cruises, and she told me that there should be opening for a Japanese cruise director position. And then I applied, and I got that job after like 15 years of dreaming of becoming a cruise director. So yes, and on the very first week of me being a cruise director, Discovery Channel came to our ship, and I was not supposed to be in the script, but the captain and head office people recommended me, and they decided to have me in the script, and they follow me on and off the ship, and it was aired last September. So I really feel like whatever you imagine, you can really hold it in your hands, as Bob Proctor says. Yes.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Wow, what a story. I love the fact that, picking out the gold nuggets, that you said 15 years of dreaming,
Mm-hmm.
boom, and then you're walking in. And then you have these they're not little, but the incremental scaffolding that,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to ask you a question. When you were scaffolding, and it seems like there's no money, the money, what did you have? What did you choose to keep telling yourself to keep going rather than reverse to an old
Mm-hmm.
parent?
I think I would say that was my burning desire. And also and also because I made, $40 to $100,000 in 2 weeks. So that was my, big miracle, I would say. That so I knew that if I could do it then I should be able to do it again somehow. So I think that's my expectation for myself. No matter what happens, I can do it again. And now as a life coach, I am teaching, this transformational principle that it's repeatable, right? You can make any dreams come true. It's repeatable as long as you follow this formula. So at that time, I didn't have the formula, but but I was learning and I was chanting, and yeah, so I tapped into my infinite side of the nature then. But now I know the formula, so I can not only me being able to create my dreams come true, but I can help others to do so. So this is amazing. Yes.
Yes, wow, what a story. And I'm focusing in too. I know your current dream with that little animated creature right behind you. And tell us how that came about. And it seems and isn't it organic? You keep growing as you grow and grow. But tell us about your adventures right now. And I would also love to know about your parents,
Mm.
and because that relationship part of our whole system, that how that is really important to you, and how that what was it what did it feel like when you were able to help your parents out, and what was that about, and where is that relationship now, if you don't mind?
Okay, thank you. Yes, so now my new challenge, my new goal is that I would like to create this animation characters um, to spread this life transformational principles to the youth, and the youth at heart. So what if the children start learning this life winning transformational principles from an early age, then they are going to be grown into, they are going to grow into capable heart-centered leaders. So that's my new vision. And yeah, so I have Hazy and Lumi as my character. I am going to put this so that you can see better. Can you see it?
Oh.
So the yellow one is Lumi, because we are the luminous light being. We shine our life, right? And we can do anything. And then over here is hazy. So hazy is like a paradigm. And yeah, so hazy represents the human side of our nature, and Lumi represents the infinite side of our nature. And with these animation characters, I would like to spread these amazing universal laws and life transformational principles. And yeah, so this is going to start on March 16th, and we are working very hard to create this animation. So yeah, look forward to
Oh.
that.
Oh my goodness, I am so thrilled. And my mind is like, I'm connected. I'm a school teacher. My daughter is like, I have a granddaughter, and my granddaughter would light up with what you're doing there. So there's no mistakes that we're talking right now. So there's Leanne. So tell me about your parents. I would really, I'm a grandma. I mean, I'm probably your parents' age, to tell you the truth. Tell me about them and how maybe they've transformed from watching you transform.
Yes. I am an only child, like I said, but I am so thankful that my parents let me go, fly away from them, because obviously I am in Honolulu right now. I was in LA, and I am, everywhere. But because they invested in me, right? They invested in me for study abroad in Hawaii and all of that. So they really want me to fly. They don't want me to be at where they are. So I am really thankful to have a supportive parents like that. And yeah, and so I invited them to come on a cruise. So that was a free cruise for them. So that was great. And also, like, I take my mom to the first class and take her around Japan. And yeah, and also I took my father to Dubai when I had a seminar in Dubai. But yeah, hopefully after COVID-19 is gone, and when our regular life comes back, I would love to take both of them to Michigan, which is my father's dream. That he loves this movie called Somewhere in Time, and he would like to be in the hotel there. And yeah, so that's my dream. And hopefully I can celebrate my mom's birthday, my mom's 65th birthday this summer in Hawaii. Yeah, so that is my goal for this year. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, and yeah, they really trust me. They are not gonna really say anything, like let me do whatever I want. And yeah, and that's not, I think they trusted me since I was like really, really little. Like they treated me like an individual instead of like their kids. So yeah, I am so thankful for them to treat me like that and trust with my intuition and all the decisions that I'm making.
oh, what a blessing your family is. I, wow, this is so, my heart is open so wide. So as we continue, if you could, what would be like the one tool that you would love to pass on to everyone who's watching this and will watch it in the future? If you could think of like one tool that would help people know, know inside that they can do it if you can do it. So,
Yes. Well, don't seek something outside of yourself. You have everything within you. Yeah.
oh, tell me more.
Yes. So yeah, that's what I want to share with my animation too. But when you start looking outside of yourself, you are just kind of like you are chasing your own tail. But have a mentor or a coach, or anybody who can teach you that you are powerful as you are, and you can create anything you want, you can be, do, have anything you want. And that is the core strength that I would love to pass on to the future generation as well. It doesn't matter how old you are. You might be 6 years old, but it's your life. You might be 60 years old, but it's your life, and you can only live your life. So as a producer and director and the main character of your own movie called Life, you as a screenwriter too. So you're gonna just play very well, even though you are depressed sometimes. You are just playing this one scene, but in the end, it's a happy ending. So just have the happy ending in mind and play well in your life. And yeah, and you can be and do and have anything you want.
Oh, that's great. Well, so as we wrap up here, what we love to do for everyone is to ask you one question. As a community of paradigm shifters, what we would love to hold for you personally, what would you love to have us hold as paradigm shifters for you and your vision? What would you love?
Yes, thank you. So my vision is that I call it Ito Edutainment Universe, like a Marvel universe, but yeah, so education and entertainment together, Ito Edutainment Universe. So I would like this Ito Edutainment Universe to go global, and I would love to create an event in a stadium where, like, Super Bowls is held or something, with 70,000 audience, and with so that Haze and Lumi are impacting from the kids to the grandparents, and they come together as a family, and yeah, and they learn this amazing life transformational principles, and they talk about them constantly every single day. Are you being Lumi or Hazy today? So that I am going to create more Lumi in the world instead of Hazy. So that's my global vision. Yes.
Okay, well, here we go. Get ready to receive. We're sending you energy. Whoosh! And so it is.
I received it.
Oh, thank you so much. We so appreciate you and your energy and just everything that you're doing. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for coming, and thank you for watching.
And so it is. Okay.